back to another edition of Sports D.N.A. I'm D.n.A.
And I'm Aldo Canepa, where we hope to bring you the latest in all of local SCV sports.
Aldo, what's the lowdown?
Definitely. So we're going to start with Shane Vereen, former Valencia High standout, and obviously now playing for the New England Patriots.
Right.
Last week they played against the Broncos and absolutely dominated. They played a great game. Shane Vereen had 11 carries for 29 yards and 5 catches out of 10 for 38 yards and had 1 catching touchdown.
Right. That's really exciting for Valencia players.
Definitely. He coming from Valencia, especially a local guy, playing for a big team like New England, being a starter in New England,
right.
That's just a big news. And, especially coming off that win.
Who do they play next?
They're on a bye week this week. They play Indianapolis at Indianapolis in 2 weeks, so that's going to be a really tough game.
That's going to be a good game.
But New England has the confidence. They're coming off this big win off Denver, which no one really expected that to happen. Denver came in as the favorite against New England in New England. So that last time that happened, Cincinnati lost to New England. So Patriots going into Indianapolis at home. Hopefully they get it done. So what's going on with the former Valencia High standout, Max Homa?
Actually, he's ranked 125 in the FedEx Cup right now. He missed the cut in the McGladrey Cup, and he's actually in Jackson, Mississippi, where he hopes to make the cut in the Sanderson Farms Open. So hopefully I'm really pulling for him.
How is he looking like, missing the cut and trying to get into this Open? What's the game plan there?
The game plan is just to keep pushing through, get the lowest score possible. Hopefully him and Jack Reiner can really get it together and make their putts, make their drives, and just really get there and make the cut.
Cool, definitely. I guess we'll move on now to COC women's soccer, who just came off a nice win in Bakersfield. Struggled in the past couple weeks, though. They came off the loss to Santa Monica, and then they went on to beat LABC, but really struggled to beat. I mean, they even had to switch up formations, which is something we really don't see. So I'll take you back to the chalkboard over here to show you exactly what they did. They started with the 4-4-2. Basically, that's 2 strikers, 4 mids, 4 defenders. What the coach, Justin, decided to do was go to a 3-4-3, which brings 1 midfielder up to strike and 1 defender up to be the midfield, to really just get that strike going and try to produce a goal, because they were really struggling. They didn't have the intensity. So hopefully they were able to, and with that, they actually ended up scoring a goal within the last 10 minutes of the game.
Wow.
So, and then obviously they came back and beat Bakersfield 8-0. It was a crazy game. That looks like the COC women's soccer we're used to. Going in a 12-game unbeaten run, 10 games, 1 of those out of those 12, winning every game by at least 4 goals. Coming in against Bakersfield, winning 8-0, really good stuff for the girls.
Yeah, they feel it at home too. That's when they really come out strong. They score those goals and they're able to make it. And they actually have a game this Friday against Glendale at 7 p.m.
They do, yes.
And then the men's soccer. How are they doing?
They're doing really well too. They just came off a win. They're going into next week, hopefully to get the 2nd win too. They're starting to get their motivation up. They're winning more and more constantly now, and now we'll see if they can keep going the rest of the season. What about women's volleyball? Women's
volleyball, actually, they won 12 straight games in a row, and they're looking to gain their 13th, and they actually play against Glendale, who's 1-7, so hopefully they can keep that streak going. This Friday, they play at home, and hopefully they'll get it. They're
looking really dominant in every game they play. They're not really letting the other teams try to get any advantage towards them. They're just absolutely going out and playing hard.
They're dominating.
Yeah.
Literally, they're dominating. Well, and it really feels good because, it's our own local sport, it's our own school,
definitely.
And so I'm really cheering the women on.
Speaking of dominating, how about not dominating in COC football? What's going on there?
It was a hard loss for everybody who was there. They really lost the game. They lost the game actually 64-35. But we definitely have those strong players from this game. Tim White is always such a strong player who you can always look back on, and he, no matter what, is going to shine. Tony Dawson, too, looked really nice. They just couldn't pull through. Ventura was 3-0, so going into that game, they knew it was going to be a struggle, and hopefully they play this Saturday actually against Moore Park.
I guess the biggest thing against Ventura was the fact that they allowed 354 rush yards. They allowed 5 rushing touchdowns by 4 different players. So that tells you where the main struggle is for the COC defense, and it's the rushing defense. They can't protect the rush, and that's why they lost. I mean, Tony Dawson went 11 for 23, had 156 yards.
Right.
Tim White had 8 catches for 111 yards. So it's not like they're not producing the numbers that are supposed to win you games. They're producing those numbers, but it's just their defense is not helping them out. They're not helping with the point control. So if
and they had 6 turnovers.
Exactly.
That is so many, and that should not be happening. With a team who's gone this far into the season, giving away 6 turnovers, that's just I don't know how they allow that, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, they're struggling at home. They're 1-3 at home right now. They're not really doing a good job. Like I said, it's the defense. Honestly, to me, it is the defense. You can't allow 354 rushing yards.
And that game, if they would have won that game, they would have been first in conference. So hopefully this next game against Moore Park, they'll pull through and hopefully get another win.
Sure. Thank you so much. Yeah, coming out after the break, we have D.n.A speaking to all of some representatives from women's sports, first from COC.
Right.
So we'll take a look after that.
When you're in the mood for endless Italian dishes, Vincenzo's Pizza is your one-stop shop.
From their hand-tossed thin crust pizzas,
to their meaty Chicago dogs and their toasty sandwiches,
to their creamy chicken Alfredo pasta.
I love their chicken Alfredo pasta.
Vincenzo's New Hall has exactly what your appetite desires.
With fresh ingredients, 12 cold beers on tap, and live entertainment on the weekend.
You will not be disappointed.
Vincenzo's Pizza, inch for inch, the best pizza in the Santa Clarita Valley.
Habitat for Heroes.
Really, it's a story about people.
Letting people see that they're not alone, they're not isolated. We're here to help.
And we need to work on behalf of our veterans.
Then we can really change that veteran's ability to reintegrate into the community.
Habitat for Heroes is not just rebuilding homes, but it's rebuilding lives.
And that's the message we want to get across.
Get involved. Visit habitatscv.org and find out how you can help.
Knock out cancer! You're watching Cougar News!
Welcome back. Earlier this week, I had the chance to sit down with 4 female athletes at COC to give me an inside look about what it's like to be a woman in sports. Do you guys feel that you're treated equally as men in the sports industry?
At College of the Canyons, yes. But other colleges that I've been to, no.
What about in high school?
In high school, no. Not at all. Yeah. And at my high school, like, the girls weren't even allowed to lift in the weight room. Like, whenever we would try to go in the weight room, we weren't allowed to.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Here it's equal, I think, definitely, because it doesn't really, I think the support that you get more depends on, like, if your team's successful, like if you're doing well, then you get more hype and you get more support. I don't think genders really a call for that, but yeah, it's pretty
I agree.
And how do you guys feel if you guys were to play against men? Do you guys think that, you guys would be treated fairly, and do you guys think that they would put up 100% the same as you guys would?
In golf, yeah, because we already, as a woman, have like an advantage of being closer to like the green and the pin, so we sometimes just like go against the boys and we can learn a lot from them because they are better, like, sometimes.
I mean, there's a couple different differences between baseball and softball, so that would definitely conflict.
Yeah.
But I do have to say men are a lot stronger than women. They're going to hit the ball harder, they're going to throw the ball harder, so I think they would have an advantage.
I mean, some men, but yeah, I know.
There's some
guys are strong. Me too. So, I mean, our net differentiation is different for the guys and girls. So, I mean, we would have to work it out to see if we want like a higher net or a lower net. But I mean, we're really competitive as a team. So I think if we played against guys, it would be more competitive. And so I think I like it.
Yeah. That especially men think, oh, your guys are girls. We could beat you if we wanted to.
It's not necessarily competing against each other, but it's what bothers me is whenever they don't take our sport seriously. Yeah. A lot of people think of softball as a rec sport, as something that's not as serious as baseball, not as competitive, not as trying. So that's what gets on my nerves, because softball is a very competitive sport. So.
Yeah, like people sometimes say like golf is not a sport, it's a hobby. Like, no, it's a sport if you play it, like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like, do you think that your endurance is just as the same as men? Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, we train as hard, we work as hard. We can build up our endurance to last just as long.
Yeah, I think
maybe
so.
train harder than some
yeah.
men.
Sometimes, yeah.
But I mean, that's across the board, you know. I mean, Olympic track times or high jump or records that are set, it's across the board. The men is just a little bit higher or faster, and you know, like, is that, you could argue that it's physiological, you know, or is it just that that's what we're kind of, that's what's been expected of us. It's just sort of, we've evolved that way. I mean, that's a huge argument, you know, because is it physiological, or is it just because we're sort of like, since we're born, we're just kind of conditioned that way?
Right. You had mentioned before that there's no room for you guys to excel after college, you know? Like, what do you think needs to happen for that to really take off, you know? I mean, MMA is getting big for women, you know, Ronda Rousey, there's, you know, the Sparks, you know, but nobody really pays attention to them. Nobody cares. So,
you know, I think for that to happen, it would have to be a lot more support from fans and stuff like that. Softball's gotten bigger after college and ESPN a little, but it would honestly, you know, that won't happen unless there's money involved.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what it's really about, is what's going to get the money, who's going to watch, who's going to buy the jerseys, but you're just not going to...
Well, like, there's a lot of overseas. Like, I know volleyball teams, you can go to play in, like, Sweden or something.
And you can do that in softball, too. You can go play for a national team.
It's like nothing here.
Yeah, so maybe it's our geographics. It's just kind of America is that way, you know. It's been socialized and stuff.
Once one women's sport catches momentum, it might start a fire. Might
leading way.
Yeah, they're getting more...
Feed off of each other.
Yeah, they're getting more, like, money in women's golf, and it's like... After college, there's a lot. You have to go like on the tour school and try to go on the LPGA, or like I'm come from Europe, so I can play the European Women's Tour. So there's a lot after college. It's just it doesn't end. It starts after college.
And do you think there's a fine line for every sport, or just MMA? Like, oh, that's a fine line between men and women playing together.
I think MMA is a big question, because there's hitting and there's
more
like
physical, like
direct contact, and you know. It's one-on-one rather than individuals, but that's, I don't know, that's interesting.
I mean, there's always going to be a fine line, I guess, like with the girl crossing over, but I mean, MMA is just a little different, I think, because it's just more like shots to the face, like more
and I
like
think
direct contact.
It's always the male's mindset, rather than, because, you know, I'm in there, I'm going in, and like, I'm out, I'm going to be aggressive, I'm going to play my game, but I think if a man saw a woman in their arena, it'd be like, but should I take it easy? How's she gonna be? You know, I don't want to look like I'm trying to, you know, try too hard against a girl, you know. So I think it's more the male mindset.
I noticed all you guys almost said strategic. Do you think that women plan things out more than men? Men are, I know, especially at soccer games, because those are the games that I go to, they're more of just like blah, 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 where you guys plan, okay, she's open, I'm gonna kick it to her, and boys they just kick it. No, even if nobody's even there, even if the other team's there, I just feel like you guys plan better. Do you feel that you guys do?
To be honest, I don't think it has to do with like women are more strategic than men, or men are stronger. Athletes are strategic. You know, both of us, women are athletes, men are athletes. So it's part of being an athlete. You know, I don't think it has to do with gender at all.
But you know,
volleyball, cross country, soccer, and women's golf are all in season right now. Be sure to come and support them. For Cougar News, I'm D.n.A.
Thank you so much, Darian. Coming up after the break, we bring in our local sports expert, Matt Robinson. Stay tuned.
Are you still looking for your school? College of the Canyons is located on scenic rolling hills with competitive programs such as new media journalism, state-of-the-art sports facilities, and a culinary arts program that will be opening their brand new building with 3 state-of-the-art test kitchens. At only $46 a unit, you will discover that COC is the community college for you. Find out more at www.canyons.edu.
I'm Richard Horvitz.
I'm Tara Strong.
I'm Michael C. Morona.
And I'm Danny Tamborelli.
Hi, this is Ming Chen.
This is Mike Zapsik.
Hi, it's Louis Anderson.
I'm Weird Al.
I'm Florence Henderson.
I'm
I'm the Grinch. And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
You're watching.
And you're watching.
And you lucky people are watching
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
You're watching Cougar News.
So this is for the older ladies.
and I'm a cougar.
Welcome back to Sports D.N.A.
With us now is our local sports expert, Matt Robinson. How you doing, Matt?
Good, guys.
Hey,
How
Matt.
are you?
Good.
This is a pretty good week.
Definitely.
What's going on?
You got the best and worst of the week for us, right?
Best and worst in the week.
What's the first best?
Our first best is going to be the COC women's golf team. They won the WSC championship this year. Really, they've just dominated all year. 8 wins in 9 tournaments this year. They've been one of the better teams in the Western, actually the best team in the Western States Conference, and have just incredible. All 6 women made the All-State team and are just rolling in, going into the state tournament, the SoCal Regional Tournament on November 9th through the 11th at the Temecula Golf Club, excuse me.
What was the score there on the?
Well, they won by 77 strokes. It was a big time. I mean, they've just blown everybody out of the water.
And having all 6 girls.
That's incredible.
That is
you don't hear that anywhere.
That's never happened.
No, I've never heard of it. So, all 6 of them. Their assistant coach was named the coach of the year. Big thing.
Assistant coach, even the coach of the year. So.
Yeah, exactly. Big thing right there.
That gives you something. All right, what's our worst of the week?
Worst of the week. Golden Valley's lost last week. They still looking for their first win.
Heartbreaking.
Lost in the last moments.
Heartbreaker.
It was a really good game. They, were close. Had the ball with under 2 minutes left. Fumble. Touchdown for West Ranch. Then, touchdown for West Ranch, and then a little block an extra point. We get to overtime. Oh, we kick a field goal. We lost. So
such a close game.
Close game,
Sad.
big time. It was a tough one, but what can you do? They live and they learn. They come next week.
The beautiful thing about Golden Valley this season is they've been slowly improving. Yeah. Every game you watched, it's getting closer and closer. They're not getting blown out of the water like they used to a couple seasons ago. So it's a really good thing to see Golden Valley.
And we'll talk about it more in our high school football preview in just a few minutes.
You have a special final best for us today. What is it about?
It's a big time. It's been 10 years since the COC National Championship back in 2004. And recently this week, I had a chance to sit down with head coach Chuck Lyon, or former head coach, current athletic director, and he was able to tell us a little bit more about the 2004 National Championship team.
Baby, let's go. I'll never give up. I'll never give up. If I do, if I do, give on the one beside me. I give on the one beside me. I'll never give up. I'll never give up. If I do, if I do, give on those who believe me. I give on those who believe me. First takes me down. First takes me down. Pick him up. I'll pick him up. I need to say. I'll never give up. I'll never give up. I believe in the God. I believe in the God. Fight to the end. I'll fight to the end. We will win. And we will win. It's our promise. It's our promise.
10 years ago, COC football completed the improbable.
You certainly don't expect to go undefeated.
A season that would go down in the record books.
You certainly don't expect to go 14-0, be the only team in history to ever do it.
Winning the state and national championship in 2004 under current athletic director Chuck Lyon.
We played El Camino, Grossmont, Saddleback, and I'm telling you, we were beat up and done.
And despite facing the defending national champs in the state finals,
our players, there was a confidence about that group that was very abundant, very adamant.
The team battled through the fog right to the end, clear in Lyon's memory.
And they get down to, they're in the red zone, they're inside the 20, and we're all done. We're spent. We're done. It's game over. I mean, we're either going to stop them and win, because if we go to overtime, in my mind at the time, we have no chance. We have no chance here. We've laid it all out there. There's nothing else we can do.
Through the exhaustion and the fog, it came down to one final play.
Right side, in the fog. I can't see that far. Nobody can. The officials were there. Well, they throw the ball into the end zone. The kid goes up and catches the ball, and Theus goes up through his hands and knocks the ball out. Which, the play of, I mean, if you had to say one play in the history of College of Canyons football, that was it.
And while an empty Cougar Stadium waits for the current incarnation of Cougar football to find greatness, Lyon recognizes in football, as in life, it's about asking yourself one thing.
Am I getting better today?
I got a small announcement.
Reporting for Cougar News, Matt Robinson.
We've been crowned national champions.
Thanks, Matt, for that. That was a nice piece of history.
Definitely, the Fog Bowl in Visalia is an extremely important game.
It's a
here
big
at COC.
game. And I mean, if you want to learn more about that team, and not only the team, the program in general, head to the COC YouTube page, Cougar News YouTube page, and you can check out the full interview with Coach Lyon.
Definitely. Moving on to your predictions for the
high school football, another big week. We've got 3 games going on this week.
One being a huge one.
One being a really big one. We'll talk about that one last. 3 games. 2 of them have playoff implications. The first one more of a pride game. We're going to talk about Golden Valley versus Saugus. Really, both teams having a tough year. Golden Valley still has not won a game in the Foothill League ever. In the history of Foothill League football. And Saugus 1-3 right now. Should be a pretty decent game. Golden Valley's been playing a lot better football as of late. They're going to have to stop Saugus senior running back Troy Williams. He's been impressive. Really had a great season on the ground. He's got 20 touchdowns on the ground, over 1,300 yards. Just a great player. For Golden Valley, they're going to need to get on the back of Victor Corona, their quarterback. He's been impressive. He's done a nice job for them. And really, last week's loss, I think, is going to teach them how to win. You've got to learn how to win by losing those close games. And I've got Golden Valley winning their first ever Foothill League game.
You think they're going to win?
I got them 27-24 over Saugus.
They've had so many coaches over the years, and they still have not managed to ever get a Foothill League win.
I think they're going to
get it. I think look at the difference. I mean, the past season, they've been getting blown out consistently every season. But this season, exception in this, excuse me, they've been improving every game.
Not only that, but their student section, nobody is there.
The best student section in high school football in Santa Clarita.
Wink, wink. Nobody's ever there. Ever. It's really sad.
Their band's actually incredible. That's what I like. They have the band there. They're the only school out here that has it. So.
And it's a really waste because they have such a beautiful field.
They do. So you got Golden Valley winning. I got them winning by 5 points. Should be a good game.
Definitely. Next game.
Let's talk about the biggest one.
Well, no, we gotta go Canyon. We gotta go Canyon West Ranch first.
I'm just so excited.
I know you are. We'll just hold your horses. We got Canyon West Ranch first.
Right.
That one's got playoff implications because if Canyon wins, they're in. If West Ranch wins, they're in. It comes down to tiebreakers on that one. Canyon had a tough game last week against Valencia. Was in it against Hart previous weeks. Thought it was going to be a close game last week. Really wasn't. Canyon just blown out by a bigger, faster Valencia team. West Ranch, on the other hand, just struggling. They got lucky to beat Golden Valley the week before. They've had some decent quarterbacking off of Chase Killingsworth, but I think they're going to have a tough time against Canyon. I think Canyon's going to win that game. They're going to beat them 35-20.
They have a lot of Canyon does have a lot of weapons. They have the Cabrera brothers, and they have a really good offense. It's just they can't find the win. So
and I think that's why they're going to be able to make that playoff spot, sneak into that third one. All right. Now we're going to go into the big game, the one that you want to talk about.
All right, my prediction is that Valencia's going to win by 2 touchdowns.
You've got 2 touchdowns.
I got 2 touchdowns.
What do you got?
I got them winning by 3.
You got them winning by 3. See, I'm going to take a little bit of a different route on this one, okay? I've got Valencia. They're going to win the game. They're going to win it by 10. But I think what's going to happen is Hart's going to come out, and they're going to be ready to go. They've been playing some tougher games. They've been in the Foothill League games that have been closer. Valencia's been on cruise control. They've kind of walked through everybody, scoring over 40 points in 7 of their games this year.
Because their players are so much
bigger. They're bigger, they're faster, they're stronger.
Huger.
But I think they're going to be in cruise control, and they're going to come out, and they're going to kind of be slow, and we're going to walk through Hart. We're going to beat them.
That's how I feel like Hart has been lately. Remember when they played West Ranch? West Ranch was up that game for the first half.
Yeah.
And then Hart came out, and they were like, okay,
But that's what
let's
I think Hart's going to come in, and they're going to be ready to go. And they're going to go on the backs of Brady White.
Because they have to.
They have to.
Valencia has won 5 of the last 6 times.
They have. It's very true, and they're 5-time Foothill League champions right now, 5 straight. So they're looking for their 6th. And I still have them winning the game because I think what's going to come down to is Cole Parkinson and J.J. Wilson are going to take over that game.
J.J. Wilson's
J.J. Wilson
phenomenal
is
athlete.
taking over
He can catch, he can run,
and he's going to be the guy that's going to carry them to that victory. Like I said, Hart's going to come out. They're going to come out fired up. Valencia's going to come out in cruise control. They're going to have a little bit of a struggle at start. Hart's going to put up a couple touchdowns. They're going to end up winning the game 45 to 35 is what I've got the final score.
All right, we'll see.
So, we got a 10-point
so you have a high scoring game.
I have a high scoring game.
I have a low scoring game.
I don't think so. I think both offenses are too good.
That's different.
Not low. I'm saying you have 45-35. I have more maybe 27-24.
Nah, I think
it'll be in the 30s for sure.
I think it's going to be 45-35 in Valencia.
We'll see.
One final question, Matt. You did not shave for the show.
It's No Shave November in honor of prostate cancer research. So make sure you get out there. You donate to that research. It's something we do, just trying to keep the beard going, keep people aware of it. It's just like breast cancer research, just for males, prostate cancer research.
Great cause.
So it's a great cause, so make sure you guys check that out.
See, I wish I could, but it just doesn't grow in fully.
Well, mine only goes about this far.
Well, it's only men.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Darren. My co-host, everyone.
I'm Darren Inori.
And I'm Aldo Canepa. And for Matt Robinson. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks, guys.